All right, welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Galaxy today, and we are looking at security on the show this morning. Just to let you know quickly that you can be a part of this discussion. If you have a question, if you have a comment or suggestion on this related killings, just feel free to do so by sending an SMS. The number to send it to will be displayed shortly on your screens, and you can also interact with us via our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram using the hashtag Galaxy. Today, all right, we'll be kicking it off from Lagos here this morning.
Yes, we have in Lagos Ambassador Roy Ohidevie, security expert and CEO, August Eye Security. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Ambassador.
Okay, so before we go into the arrested suspects for the Zamfara killings, I'd like us to go back to how or what happened at Zamfara and then the cause of the killings. In your own opinion, what do you think could be the cause?
Well, we read the story. There was a release by the police that a headsman was moving along with cows and sheep. Some village hunters who are doing like protective for the farmers that are being killed every day accosted him. He may be he may be stealing the cows and the heads. Now the man ran away, according to what I read, now came back with certain persons from another village in Sokoto State or thereabouts, which was mentioned, and came back with those people and did a reprisal attack on these hunters. And about 18 of them, their bodies were found dead. Okay. Now we have so many other figures too in other representation. Now, you see, every day we talk. Sometimes I get skeptical when I need to come on air. I start thinking, I said, are we giving clues and strategies to Marudas? Are you sure we are not talking to criminals, teaching them how to beat security, how to cause mayhem, how to kill people and go free? Because the people that are supposed to be listening, I want to beg and assume that they are listening, because this is one too many again. And we are talking now, we may have another issue this evening, another state. Now let's look at the issue of mediation. If people from a community detect that this may be a rustler, are you getting it? Okay, are there no other community of headsmen that are already familiar with the village people? Can't you, I know all of them has GSM now, this is not the time to say, maybe network is not good there for plan B, plan C, network A, network D might be working. Can't you just call up the attention of, hold the guy down, call up the attention of another headsman team and say, is this a rustler? Are you getting me? That is for one. Two, when the guy escaped, if you are not a rustler and you escape like that, then you go back to your own Meetiala people and say, I was going around with my cow, I didn't enter anybody's farm, and some people just came and they wanted to kill me, so I ran away, but my cows are there. Then that other body now approaches the community, like the village head or whatever, and say, this is another issue now, you people have started.
Yes.
Look at my son going with his own car, he didn't enter anybody's farm, and these guys that are doing vigilante hunters, they came to accost him. And why is that? Then people will tender apologies and the cows will be released or whatever.
Yeah.
If you call the Meatiala people and hold the boy down, they will come and say, oh, thank you, he's not a rustler, he's our boy, I hope he didn't destroy any crop. They will say, no, he didn't, or he did. And you now say, what is the cost? And you put all those into consideration. Are we not human beings? How can we just, I'm going with my cow, somebody just say, hey, stop, I ran away, come with other people, start killing people. You see, there is this understanding that you can get away. Once I told you last time, I said, once you believe you can get away, that is why on your street, anybody can stab somebody else. And the next minute, I read another news that an armed robber was just released at Paja. It's on the news. It's not what I'm just saying. You know? So, if I believe that I can stab somebody and walk on the street smoking in their hemp, that is breakdown of law and order. Okay. So, any other child, any other upcoming criminal will look at me and follow suit.
Because
so we need to bring this idea of mediation, conciliation. We need to interact. We need to do Jojo and not war.
All right, we'll come back to you. It's still Galaxy today, and we are focusing on the spate of killings all over the state. Specifically, we're looking at Zamfara killings. We'll be right back in a moment. Let's take a commercial. The state of the nation's economy leaves much to be desired. Nigerians grapple with one sort of issue to the other on a daily basis. Sometimes the arguments get heated.
That is what is taxable.
Tempers even flare.
There is a high level of unemployment and poverty in the land.
Military do not come and bomb villages of innocent people. His action is coming very late because
we ask the legislators, to reduce your salaries. Perhaps some of them should even say by half.
On Galaxy today, we'll take a no-holds-barred approach to issues and trends. We'll bring prominent Nigerians from all walks of life to bear their mind and human angle stories. Join us on Galaxy today. Galaxy today, discussing issues as they trend. All right, welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's Galaxy today, and security is our focus this morning. We are joined by yet another guest, the legal practitioner, Destiny Takon. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. Good to be here again.
All right, fine. Ambassador was just talking about the place of mediation in all of these killings because there are just one too many. Almost every day we just wake up to hear about one new killing in the northern state, in the northern part of the country. Barrister, the main question right now would be the place, the value the government has on the lives of the citizens. Because if you ask me, Fayoshe was just in the news and was saying that there's been lots of infrastructure put in place as regards security, but none of them has actually yielded results. It's as though it's just business as usual.
Yes, the fact that these things keep repeating themselves all over the country, of course, lends credence to the fact that of course, we know as a people that we do not attach much premium to human life. I have said before in different fora that this is just one country where you find a corpse, a human carcass, a human corpse, lying on the road. It stays there and degenerates. It swells up, bursts, and you see the bones there. Nobody would ask a question. Sometimes even if it's right in the middle of the road, until the vehicles passing would smash it and you find no piece of it again. And nobody's raising an eyebrow. Of course, we've seen what's happening all over the country. Of course, the most recent being the Zamfara killings. Yes. Where rather than deal with the issues decisively from the perspective of governance or government, you see a top-level security officers like the IG and the chief of defense staff, giving very inflammatory statements. Instead of moving in as they should and taming the situation, they either call it communal conflict, as we've seen, or somebody will say because cattle roads have been blocked. I don't know who fashioned cattle roads, where in the law that is, that have been blocked. That is why herdsmen are killing.
Cattle roads.
Cattle roads, yes, have been blocked. And of course, you hear even up to yesterday, or so we read about Professor Ango Abdullah saying that why herdsmen would continue killing. It tells you that this is a system where there is lawlessness has become, is extolled. It has become part of our culture. We have accepted it. That taking human life now means nothing to us. Like the case of Zamfara, you read about somebody comments where people say, seeing somebody being buried, every day because of the activities of these insurgents. Now these are those rascals, those cattle rustlers who stay in the forest, on the bush, and come and attack communities. That some of them even levy communities and say, you pay money to us or we'll come and attack you. It's because it's a state of helplessness and lawlessness. That's why this can happen. You know, so there's impunity. And so it shows that it's a failed security situation. And that is very, very sad.
Okay,
Very
talking
sad.
about security situation, I like you to take it from that angle. I mean, we hear that a whole lot has been invested in security, and then people cannot but wonder what is being secured. Where exactly is security in Nigeria? Do we say that some part of Nigeria is being secured and some part isn't, or do we say that security forces have failed?
Well, I would like to look at and say that we have opportunity cost and we have the alternative for gone.
Okay.
I think the opportunity cost we have here is reactive security, and the alternative for gone is proactive security. If you look at reactive security being an opportunity cost, you think how much we spend when there is a crisis. We deploy mobile policemen, we deploy military, we deploy air surveillance, we deploy water surveillance. Once there is a crisis, we ask chiefs of security, military, air force, police to move to the place. They are not moving with their salary. They are moving with a budget. A budget will be declared immediately, instant release for that situation. Now, why don't we go proactive? I always ask people, what is the need to go and begin to start other programs like Peace Corps, like other things, inflate the number of policemen, number one, then integrate intelligence training, integrate technological training, integrate mediation skills, integrate international relations and ethics, then increase their motivation. Motivation in taking care of their families, motivation in shelter, motivation in their monthly take home, motivation in their health packages, motivation for insurance in case anything happens to me as a policeman. Let's forget the army. This is not army, military, air force matter. Let's first look at our police. Where does the police fail? Now, if we don't start now, everybody that is going to be IG tomorrow is already a police officer now.
No.
They won't join the police tomorrow. They are growing in the ranks. They are seeing the failings. They are writing possibilities to grow this, to grow that. Now, also look at departments. Departments emboldened. Now, if you look at the police itself, it does not have a forest ranger team. It does not. They just have marine police. The marine police now, I know that there are limitations. Also, they still exist. Now, they have area police. Now, we have helicopters, which are also not enough, not well funded, and especially logistics for fueling and all that. Then, you look at other departments in the police. They come and see the teeming youths that we have, that are graduates from universities, federal, state, and private. They are teeming. They are just idle. They are going into crime or one other thing or the other. Employ them en masse. Let the police be teamed up, be full of professionals, and patriotism can be built in as you take care of them. Once you begin to have this, don't forget that they will improve their skills to be proactive. They will improve their skills to generate evidence. They will improve all other skills that they need. And they will pack all of these things with culprits that need penalties, that have violated constitution and policy, and hand over to the judiciary.
Okay, all right. We'll go to continue with Lagos now for a bit. Okay, the governors of Zamfara State, who happens to be the head of the Governors Forum, have talked about the place. I still want to hammer on state police. He said any state that can actually, that are capable, of handling that should. But I want to find out the legal implication to all of this. There's been a whole lot of call for state policing. How soon do you likely see this happening in Nigeria, looking at the Constitution and the Senate and the House of Representatives?
It's something that should happen at once, given that, of course, Senate has passed that bill. We hope that the state assemblies would do a quick job at also endorsing that, so that we can have, you would see, for instance, even using the Benue situation, which has been on the bonus for as long as we all know before what just happened in Zamfara, that if we had state policing, if we had Benue State Police system, command or whatever, that you will not have to wait for an IG who would take time to deploy to Benue State upon the directive of the president. Okay. The governor is the chief security officer of the state. And his primary responsibility, I've said in another forum, I said he's the governor of the state. Right. And it is his primary responsibility, to provide security of life, and property to the citizens of the state, just as the president is the commander-in-chief of the federation. So if we had a state police system, I do not think that these things would have been as repetitive as they have been. The thing is that any brigand is liable to be treated or dealt with according to law, no matter what your extraction is. If you're a brigand, and of course you would not give regard to life and property, as we've seen in the case of Benue, whoever these people are, the state police would have moved in and dealt with them decisively. The federal police, like we see in the US, perhaps between FBI and the state police, would have only come in if the situation was beyond them or if they had asked for help. So we need state policing. Everything has its what do you call it? If you look at it on both coins, the positive and the negative. We've had arguments about people saying that the state structure might use the state police against opposition and people who are out of order with the government of the state. That is happening even with Nigerian police today. So it's a natural thing. And there's machinery in place at law to deal with that, to seek redress, in court or with, as we said. If we have state policing and federal policing, if you think that you've been unfairly treated by the state police, the machinery should be in place for you to petition the federal police to take over that matter and to look into it, apart from your natural, the natural access you have to court, to seek redress. So we need it like now, as quickly as this can be done. I hear some state assemblies have been sitting on these various bills that were passed by Senate. And we hope that it will be a quick one, as I said.
Okay, I'd like to take us back to what he said before we went on break, and then saying that after the whole process, it has to be passed to the judiciary. What's the role of the law in all this, using Zamfara killing as a case study? What can be done? It's a security situation, first of all. And he talked about the rule of mediation and how do you mediate with cattle rustlers and brigands who come into communities, and it's other than the headsman thing, as it has been happening in Benue, Taraba and Adamawa and all of that. You might be able to let's apply mediation and all of that there, but as far as the law is concerned, this is a situation that that demands urgent and dire security measures to deal with. And we have said that this is not the case where you deploy police. The police are, like you said, and I've said this too severally in different fora, the police are ill-equipped to deal with these militias. They are not. That is why in Nigeria and else, in other parts, in other climes, situation like this, you deploy the military at once, to deal with it decisively, and then the civil security apparatus, which is the police, the DSS, can move in after them. If you have militias who have taken laws into their hands and are decimating life at the scale that we're seeing around the nation, the military is the proper thing. That's why they exist. They are for both internal and external aggression. Deploy the military there. When they deal with the situation, then the other civil security apparatus can move in.
Okay, Ambassador, now let's talk about security specifically in Zamfara State. Looking at Zamfara State, where it is located, close to borders with other countries and all that. In Lagos here, for instance, aside from the normal police that we have other vigilante groups, we have other, let's say, paramilitary or security agencies, aside from the police, who actually help to forestall law and order in the country. In a place like Zamfara State and all its, landlocked issues and all that, do you really think state police can be very effective in that state, looking at its peculiarities?
Okay, thank you very much. Bryce Tatakon is my friend. But, I said he's my friend. But there are many areas that we don't agree, and we know. Okay. Now, you see the way he used legal parlance to escape from the responsibility of the judiciary. Now, we have said the police have arrested some culprits now.
Yes, they have.
They arrested in Benue. They are arrested in every other place that we have seen that this thing came up. And they will hand over evidence and these culprits to who? The judiciary. For the judiciary to interpret all of those laws that we already have. We are not asking you to go through National Assembly, Senate to promulgate any law. Use the one we have and abrogate penalties. Let's see somebody going to firing squad, to electric chair, to life imprisonment, at least from the highest to the lowest. Let's see something coming out from the judiciary, not postponement till, okay, right now I'm still sitting here right now. And I still know that we don't have the end of the kidnapper Evans case. I said we should put our house in order. What my friend is saying is that we should first of all ensure that we equip the police and the army should come in and all that. Now, let me tell you something. If I want to get married, even when it's Christmas time, it's Salah time, that is the time people change their wardrobe, paint their house, and when there is a crisis, equip the appropriate government agency. Since we are already reactive, we don't proact. So equip them when there is a crisis to intervene if it is by law, their responsibility. Okay, let's look at the other. She mentioned that are we suspecting that some ex-servicemen, not only military, maybe police and all that, are fueling the intelligence and abilities of these headsmen, marauders, or whatever rustlers we call them. Now, I want to say specifically, because I'm involved in that the Nigerian military ex-servicemen are not part of it. We have cases of singular cases where you will see a retired or a serving military person joining criminal gangs. We also have a doctor just recently becoming an armed robber. So we have all of this. So the armed forces itself, they are not in that category for now as a body. We have a body that has been talking to the House of Reps and we have been getting audience from them. Okay? Now when you come back to the issue of the military intervening and giving way to the government forces to take charge, is it not still the same government force that we are saying that are not well equipped? After the army come and shake everywhere and withdraw, we will still have chaos. So we are going back to it again. People will what? Die. So let's look at Zamfara. He said Zamfara is landlocked. We have close border communities and foreign border communities. Now, if you ask me, I will tell you that if I'm a governor of a state that is at the borderline, okay, I will first think of my people. Because I campaign to be voted in. In my campaign, I mentioned that the federal government security system has collapsed. So I know before I came in as a governor. So what was my plan B? If I call the IG, he still does not respond because the center does not allow him to respond. What is my response? That is what I'm saying. That is the onus I'm lying on now. That as a governor, you should liaise with the border communities. You should liaise with your state communities, your sister states in Nigeria angle. Then you should also create a platform where there will be corporate social responsibility of existing organizations within to support you. In that support, you begin to get direction towards apprehending criminal cases, and you begin to support your local judiciary, your customary, your magistrate, or your criminal court, and support the barristers, the judiciary, the judges to actually give penalties, not national now. We are talking of your state, Zamfara state. Now, if you go back to look at the state police matter, I say we are not matured enough. We are not matured enough for state police.
Why not?
No, look at it now. Now, there are teaching stages, there are kindergarten stages, there are matured stages when you are talking about security and strategies. If you want to have state police right now as a governor, ask me. I will tell you that pay your teachers first. You can't pay your teachers. How will you run a security body when even money they will assign for investigation cannot even be accounted? You can't even account for that. Look at Lagos State for an example. They are trying to build small paramilitary bodies to handle environmental. I was at the environmental crisis intervention office yesterday to give a complaint. They have LASMA to handle small traffic issues. Those are what you now collapse and graduate into your state police. Go to other states that you want to give state police. It should not be a blanket approval. It should be based on state by state capability, maturity, and penalties accruing to people that violate. Now, if I have used Benue State, let's use Benue State now. You have Benue State already have communal issues before Fulani herdsmen matter. We have the Tiv, the Jukun, and all other communities killing each other. Now, what if a Tiv man becomes a state governor, a Tiv man becomes a judge, a Tiv man becomes the state-owned police commissioner? Tell me, even if they have not gone against other communities, they will first of all flood the media with the fact that everybody in our security agency plus the governor is a thief man. They will start to use that, opposition parties, and create commotion in the state. So the onus still falls back to the judiciary and the legislature to put in guidelines, rules and regulations, policies that will accrue responsibilities and deployment of personalities like localities, then financial capability. If the commissioner of police, a state police, that we said if you call IG it will be too late for them to deploy, go to state police. What if you call the state police and the state governor refused to permit funds to go to him to even fuel vehicles? What if? So you have not looked at how do they get their funding. Should it be approved by a body that can constrain it from acting? We have not seen any good blueprint for state police that can make sense to tackle all our immediate problems now of tribe, religion, and political.
We connect with Abuja in a moment. But Barrister, I want you to react. A lot of stuff have been placed on your shoulder now. So I want to get your reaction.
When you went back to Ibadan, I was like, oh, I thought I was going to have mine.
You will.
Very well. All right. Ambassador said quite a lot, as you rightly said. I'd like to make this very clear. The criminal justice system, is very complex, and it doesn't just stop at the arrest and arraignment of persons, individuals who are alleged to have committed an offense. Upon arraignment, and of course the court would naturally, if the offense is bailable, grant bail, and if it's not, of course, just remand the person in custody pending further other activities in the judicial process, like awaiting the legal opinion on the matter as to whether to prosecute or not. And if it is a matter that's available for which prosecution is to go on, the same arresting agency or officers are still very relevant in the process. Now, the judiciary's role, as you know, is to interpret the law. It's not for formulation of policies. So when it appeared like I'd left that, it was simply because I came from that perspective, knowing that we have a security situation. Okay, fine. The only thing the courts can do is that if somebody is alleged to have either kidnapped, is alleged of kidnapping, of any form of violence, armed robbery, and murder, and all of the homicide, any homicide matter, the proper thing to do is, after arresting the person and preparing the matter, doing proper investigation. You see, when all these things are not properly done and they come to court, The court, we say, is a sitting dog. It's a court of cold facts and law. And it works strictly on the facts and materials brought before it. If at the end of the day, the security agencies have not done their job thoroughly, there's nothing the court can do. That matter is going to be thrown out. You know, so, and even when I say the person is being remanded, either upon being granted bail before he perfects the bail, the security agencies still have to come to court and present this evidence, what he said, all they've gathered and brought to the judiciary. You know, when they don't bring them at the point of arraignment, all right? They bring the individual at the point of arraignment upon a charge or an information, and then the person is remanded. Then when the matter is set down for trial, the security agencies have to come in. So perhaps what we need to do, like we've seen, the police have been trying in that regard, but I see that they have a lot of shortage of staff. You know, I know, for instance, that certain major departments have, you know, very few lawyers from the police. You know, we've come to a point where we should phase out police prosecutors who are not lawyers, because that is partly responsible for the situation where cases are killed in court, or where killed in court because if this matter and every matter that's to go to court should first of all go to the legal officer at the police legal department, who is trained in law to look at the matter and say, this matter has a likelihood or chances of succeeding, or it doesn't have. He can say, you've not done this and that, go back and tidy up this file.
State, the killings in Benue State
All right, we're having a bit of a connection issue. Senator, if you can hear me, let's try one more time. I just asked, what, in your opinion, is the best way to go as regards stemming the issue of these killings, not just in Zamfara, but other states? What's the best way to go? All right, we apologize. That's as much as we can take from the end at Abuja. Senator, I'm sorry we cannot continue because we're having a bit of connectivity issue. But many thanks for being a part of Galaxy today. We do appreciate it. All right, Ambassador and Barrister, you just heard the Senator speaking. He says his state is under siege. Do you agree with that, his postulation?
Well, of course, the reports come in, as he has also said, is that we have a situation where, and this has been with the North for a very long time. I recall as far back as 1999, the first Democracy Day, I was in Damaturu with a senior colleague and friend. I went visiting him in Maiduguri. He's actually from Yobe State. You know, so we traveled for Democracy Day to Damaturu. Governor Abba, I think, he was the governor at the time. And one of the things he said when we were going to say, let's leave early. If we leave too early, we might make this there's a particular term used to describe them. Insurgent, not exactly insurgent, something. He said they're involved in kidnapping and all of that around the north. So that has been as far back as 1999. You know, so, and these are the same people. They have been there in the north for a long time, undertaking cattle rustling and kidnappings, of course, for ransom and all of that. You know, but given what we've read now and what happened in Taraba, of course, it's a clear case of what? The vigilante going after cattle rustlers, you know, which is a natural thing. People want to defend themselves, you know, organize themselves to defend themselves against such aggression. And then the people reinforce and come back and engage in reckless and senseless killings. You know, like we said, Zamfara, not only Zamfara, the north, the middle belt, and all of Nigeria is under siege as far as security is concerned. Because we said it's a fair security situation, as I said before, where you see human life being dissipated repeatedly and nothing is done. It creates immunity. It's a clear statement that it's a failed security situation, and then when Ambassador was talking about a person in the community having the audacity to pick up a dagger and stab somebody and walk away and nothing happens, or smoke him on the street with his shoulders high, you're creating impunity. And also, you know, letting younger ones model after those wrong examples. And so you have a situation where, and that's what is happening. Because in this state of unemployment and hopelessness that bad governance has thrown Nigerians into, where these people become role models, to young people who, if employed, would have, appropriated their time to meaningful purposes. So it becomes a very serious problem until this security situation is dealt with. There's going to be a lot more crisis coming ahead of us.
Okay.
Now, on the issue of state policing, that Ambassador talked about the lack of funds being an issue, that how would we say a governor who can't pay salaries should, a state that cannot pay salaries should run a state police command. I do not think that that should be government. Good governance is run on institutions, all over the world. The problem we have as a people is because we have weak institutions. Until we begin to have strong institutions that can call for accountability and do what is expected of them, we cannot succeed in good governance as a people. State policing is very, very relevant. Given that we are under police generally, and in this state of unemployment with teeming youths, like he even rightly said, teeming youths unemployed, state policing would help create all over the country, I would say probably nothing more than maybe 5 million jobs.
Okay,
and
we'll just rest it there before we get your last words. Let me just see if I can take one or two comments so we can just conclude. Olaito Fakorede sent this one from Ibadan. He says, federal government has gone to sleep. The mastermind of these killings are just political class. They are using Nigerians. The government does not value life. The government should admit this. The governor of Zamfara was in Dara celebrating while the state is mourning. That was Fred from Kaduna. It says, this one says, I believe every government or governor of every state has a lot to do as regards this issue. The time is always right to do right. It doesn't need a whole year to make things right. It's about life and death. We need state police. I think it will help. Emma Ndokwe from Aba in Abia State. I'm afraid I can't really take any more, but this one wants to ask, okay, he asked two questions. What's the name of the ambassador in Agbada? His name is Roy Ohidieve. Okay. The ambassador is spoken the minds of most Nigerians. Nigeria police needs to be well trained and exposed to different departments such as forensic investigations, doctors, technicians, and a whole lot. I don't think I can take more. Many thanks for all the comments and the questions that you have asked. We do appreciate it, but just keep the conversation flowing on social media using the hashtag Galaxy Today. But can I get 30 seconds from each ambassador? 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I'll just mention two things only.
Okay.
The first thing I'll mention is that the esteemed retired members of the Nigerian Armed Forces are not part of any marauding armed gang in this country. Okay. If we detect any that are within that fold, we will kick that person out to the government, to the police, and will reveal whoever they are. Okay. We have bodies, we are representing, and we are only asking for our entitlements. Now, let's look at the state police. Let me close with that. I want to buy a dog, a grown dog. I don't want to buy a puppy. I want to buy a dog to my house. I must first build a kennel, a cage. I must also buy a chain, a leash. I must also employ a handler, and I must be ready to feed and treat the dog. So if I need state police in my state as a governor, I should go and look at all the requirements.
All right, thank you. 10 seconds enough, Barrister.
Oh, well,
your time starts now.
Well, state policing is very vital. We're talking about security situation here, and it is important that we have state police. It will go a long way, to stem. I've said the people of Benin State will not have to be waiting for an IG who is saying it's communal clashes, or for the chief of defense staff who says killings will continue unless the anti-open grazing law is, because the security of the people is a primary concern of the governor. State policing is very, very vital. And of course, let's pass the laws first. Okay. Let's enable that, and then we can look at all those things that come with it. And let's give premium as a people, to human life. Where people are killed and your state governor runs in there or the president runs in there, it shows that you attach importance. Look at what happened in the US. at the last shooting in the school.
In Florida, yeah.
Trump was there immediately. You know, it gives you concern that, oh, my country cares about me. You know, we don't attach the appropriate premium to human life, and we should have to redress that.
All right, well said, gentlemen, but we must rest it at that. And once again, thank you for all your contributions. They are really, really appreciated. My name is Justin Akadonye. Uche, say thank you to our guests.
Oh, exactly. Thank you so much to Ambassador Roy Ohideve and, of course, to Destiny Takon, the guests we had at the studio. And, of course, from Ibadan, we had Comrade Shegun Aroju and then Senator Kabir Marafa, Zamfara Central. Thank you so much. We'll do the same time again tomorrow. I'm Uche Onyekolichi. Bye for now.